You may not see it yet. You may not feel it yet. Right now, right this very moment, the invisible hand of God is shifting things in your favor. Pause, let it breathe. Then build power when the storms come, when doors close, when people walk away. Don't you dare think you've been abandoned. The hand of God doesn't stop moving when life gets hard. In fact, that's when it moves the most. Some of you have been praying for a breakthrough, waiting for a sign, wondering if heaven has forgotten your name. But I came here to tell you, God is not finished with you. The hand of God is not still. It's active, it's alive, it's strategic. Even in silence, it's setting things in motion for your good. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour, it's not destruction, it's direction. The hand of God moves in ways the human eye cannot trace, but the human heart can feel. You've been molded, refined, and positioned, not punished. You are being prepared for what's next. You don't always have to see the hand of God to know it's there. Sometimes the most powerful moves of the divine happen behind the scenes, quietly, subtly, purposefully. God's hand moves in mystery. That mystery is not a sign of absence. It's a sign of greatness. Think about it when an artist begins to paint a masterpiece. They don't reveal every stroke at once. The canvas may look messy, unfinished, or even confusing. But the artist knows exactly where each color belongs. The same is true with the hand of God in your life. You may be staring at a moment that looks unfinished, messy, unclear. But God sees the entire picture. There are times when you look around and wonder, why is this happening? Why did that door close? Why didn't that opportunity work out? And it's in those moments you must remind yourself that mystery does not mean mistake. Just because you don't understand it now doesn't mean it's not working for your good. The hand of God moves in silence because some of his greatest works are done without an announcement. A seed doesn't make noise when it begins to grow underground. The soil is dark. It's quiet. You can't see it, but deep beneath the surface, life is forming. The roots are spreading, the foundation is strengthening, and one day it breaks through the ground. That's how God's hand moves. Underground, pressure, undercover. You may feel buried, but you're really being planted. You're not forgotten. You're being formed. Sometimes the divine doesn't show you the whole plan because the plan requires your faith, not your sight. Faith is trusting that even in the dark, God's hand knows exactly what it's doing. It's trusting that the delay is divine, that the detour is direction, and that the confusion is construction. At your own life for a moment. Challenge you to love enough and care enough. Think about the times when something didn't go the way you wanted, but later you realized it worked out better than you imagined. Maybe you didn't get that job you prayed for, but a few months later, a better opportunity appeared. One that fit you perfectly. Maybe someone walked out of your life and it broke you, but now you can see that their absence created space for your growth. That's the mystery of God's hand. It doesn't always make sense in the moment, but in hindsight, you'll say, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be where I am today. Sometimes God's hand will close one door because he knows what's behind it would have hurt you. You may cry, you may question, you may fight against it, but later you'll thank him for protecting you from what you didn't see coming. The hand of God not only opens doors, it shields you from ones you were never meant to enter. That's why it's so important to trust the mystery. The unseen path often leads to the greatest destination. Every person who has ever done something meaningful has walked through a season of mystery. They've faced moments when nothing made sense, when prayers seemed unanswered, when silence felt heavy. That silence was not punishment, it was preparation. You can't hear the movement of God's hand because it's moving with precision. He's rearranging things, aligning people, shifting timing, and creating opportunities you haven't even dreamed of yet. Take the example of a sculptor working with stone. At first, all you see is a rough block, but the sculptor sees a figure hidden within it. Each strike of the hammer removes what doesn't belong. To the stone, the process might feel painful. To the observer, it looks destructive. But to the sculptor, it's creation. The hand of God works the same way. Every challenge, every loss, every disappointment is a strike that shapes you into who you were meant to become. It's not destruction. its definition. The hand of God moves in mystery because growth often requires discomfort. If everything made sense, faith wouldn't be necessary. The mystery teaches you patience. It teaches you surrender. It teaches you to let go of control and trust something greater than yourself. You can plan your life. You can map your dreams, but the divine hand always knows the better route, even if it takes you through the wilderness before leading you to the promised ground of your purpose. In your daily life, you might be dealing with things you can't explain, bills stacking up, relationships changing, opportunities slipping through your fingers. You might be tempted to say, "Where is God in all this?" But the truth is, He's right there, working in ways you can't yet perceive. Maybe He's teaching you endurance. Maybe He's building your character. Maybe He's positioning you for something that requires a stronger, wiser, deeper version of yourself. When you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. That's where peace comes from. Understand that mystery is not chaos, it's construction. You stop fighting the process. You stop doubting your journey. You start walking with confidence, even through confusion, because you know the hand of God is at work. Every sunrise you see is a reminder of that mysterious hand. You didn't make the sun rise, yet it rises for you every morning. You didn't tell your heart to beat, yet it keeps beating. You don't understand how air fills your lungs, yet you breathe without thought. God can orchestrate the universe in perfect balance. Surely He can orchestrate your life with divine precision. So the next time you're in a season of uncertainty, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start saying, "What is this teaching me?" Because when you embrace the mystery, you start to see the meaning. When you stop fighting the unknown, you start to feel the unfolding. The hand of God is moving quietly, gently, powerfully, setting you up for what's next. You may not see it today. You may not understand it tomorrow. But one day you'll look back and realize that every step, every delay, every detour was divinely guided. The mystery was never to confuse you. It was to prepare you. The unseen hand of God is not just moving in your life. It's shaping your destiny, moment by moment, in ways too wonderful to comprehend. Delay does not mean denial. Those 5 words carry a power that can change the way you look at every waiting season of your life. Too often, when something takes longer than we expected, we assume it's not meant for us. We think that because it didn't happen quickly, it won't happen at all. But that's not the truth. A delay is not a no from the universe. It's often a not yet. The hand of God moves with purpose, not pressure. What's meant for you is not gone. It's simply being prepared. Think of a farmer planting seeds. Once he buries the seed, he doesn't run outside the next morning expecting a tree. He knows the process takes time. There's a waiting season built into every harvest. The soil must do its work. The rain must fall. The sun must rise. Only then does the seed push through the earth. The delay between planting and harvest isn't punishment, it's preparation. If the seed sprouted too soon, it would be too weak to survive. The same is true for your dreams. They need time to grow roots before they rise. So when life feels slow, when you feel like everyone else is moving ahead while you're stuck in place, remember your season is not canceled. It's coming. Sometimes God delays a blessing not because you're unworthy, but because He's making you ready to handle it. If you received everything you prayed for too soon, you might not have the strength, wisdom, or maturity to sustain it. It's not about whether you can get it. It's about whether you can keep it. Imagine if you gave a child the keys to a car before they learned how to drive. The gift would destroy them. But when they've learned responsibility, patience, and awareness, that same car becomes a blessing. Delay between desire and fulfillment is the space where growth happens. It's where you learn discipline. It's where you develop resilience. It's where your faith gets stretched and your spirit matures. Every great thing in life takes time. The tallest trees don't grow overnight. Strongest relationships are built over years. The most successful people didn't rise instantly. They endured countless silent seasons where nothing seemed to move. But in those silent seasons, everything was shifting beneath the surface. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Sometimes delay protects you. What looks like rejection might be redirection. You may have wanted that opportunity so badly, but God knew it wasn't aligned with your purpose. You may have wanted that relationship to last, but He saw things you couldn't see. You may have prayed for the door to open, but the delay kept you from walking into something that would have hurt you. The hand of God is not slow, it's strategic, it's never late, it's always right on time. Let's look at a simple example from daily life. You're stuck in traffic on your way to work, frustrated and anxious because you're running late, but then later you find out there was an accident just ahead of where you would have been had you been on time. That delay, which you thought was ruining your day, may have saved your life. That's how divine timing works. It sees what you can't. What feels like a setback might actually be saving you from something you never knew was coming. Sometimes the delay is not about protection, it's about preparation. Think of a butterfly. Before it can fly, it must stay in its cocoon. That dark, tight, comfortable place is essential for transformation. If someone tried to open the cocoon too soon, the butterfly would die. The pressure of pushing out of the cocoon is what strengthens its wings. The waiting season is where you develop the power to soar. So if you feel like you're in a cocoon season, stuck, isolated, waiting, don't despair. That's where your wings are forming. The hand of God hasn't forgotten you, it's forming you. What you call delay, heaven calls development. Think of the stories you tell when you look back on your life. Rarely do you talk about the easy moments. You talk about the times you had to wait, the times you almost gave up, the times you didn't understand why things were taking so long. But when the moment finally arrived, it all made sense. The waiting made it sweeter. The struggle made it stronger. The delay made it divine. Every morning the sun rises, but not all at once. First comes the darkness, then the dawn, then the light breaks through. You can't rush the sunrise, and you can't rush divine timing. But no matter how long the night feels, the morning always comes. So it is with your life. The delay you're in is not endless. The light is on its way. If you're in a waiting season, don't let frustration make you forget your faith. Use this time to build yourself. Read, learn, grow, heal, reflect. Prepare for what you've been praying for, because when the hand of God finally moves, and it will move, you'll need to be ready to receive what's coming. The blessing will come suddenly. Your preparation will make you steady. Sometimes you're waiting not because God is slow, but because He's aligning circumstances you can't see. He's moving people, positioning opportunities, arranging divine connections, and preparing resources to meet you at the exact right moment. He gave it to you too soon, it wouldn't fit. The delay ensures perfection. So stop cursing your waiting season. Stop comparing your timeline to someone else's. Your journey is your own. Every delay has a design. Every pause has a purpose. The hand of God is moving, even when the clock feels stuck. You may not see it today, but one day you'll look back and realize that what felt like waiting was actually winning. The delay was the bridge between where you were and where you were meant to be. Hold on, stay faithful, and trust that your not yet is not a never. The blessing is not denied. It's simply delayed until the moment you're ready. The world is aligned. Everything falls perfectly into place. Because when God finally says, no force on earth can stop what's already been written for you. Every struggle is a setup. It's not the end of you. It's the beginning of something greater. When life hits hard, when things fall apart, when everything seems to be working against you, it's easy to think you're being punished or forgotten. What if the struggle you're in isn't there to destroy you, but to develop you? What if that storm that feels unbearable is the very force pushing you into your destiny? Every challenge you face is not just random pain, it's divine preparation. The hand of God often hides its purpose in the disguise of struggle. Think about the moments in your life that shaped you the most. Were they the easy ones or the hard ones? Growth rarely comes from comfort. Strength doesn't come from smooth roads. It's the rough paths, the uphill climbs, the sleepless nights, and then the silent tears that turn ordinary people into extraordinary warriors. The struggle refines you. It teaches you resilience, patience, and wisdom. It stretches your faith. It pulls something out of you that ease never could. Imagine a piece of gold. When it's first mined, It's covered in dirt and rock. It doesn't shine. It doesn't sparkle. But put it in the fire, and the impurities begin to burn away. The fire doesn't destroy the gold. It reveals it. That's what struggle does. It doesn't come to end you. It comes to expose the greatness that's been hidden beneath layers of fear, doubt, and limitation. Every time life gets harder, remember, you're not being burned. You're being refined. In daily life, struggle shows up in countless forms. Maybe it's financial pressure, a relationship that's falling apart, a career that's not taking off, or a dream that feels impossible. You may be tired, frustrated, or ready to quit. Closely, every struggle has a secret assignment. The struggle is not your enemy, it's your instructor. It's teaching you lessons that success never could. It's showing you how strong you really are. Take the story of a butterfly once again. Inside the cocoon, it must fight to break free. That struggle looks painful and slow, but if you tried to help the butterfly by opening the cocoon for it, it would die. Why? Because the fight to escape is what strengthens its wings. Without resistance, it would never fly. Your struggles are doing the same thing. They're strengthening your wings for the altitude you're about to reach. Without this fight, you wouldn't be able to handle the heights you're destined to soar. Sometimes, when people walk away, when opportunity's close, everything you tried falls apart. It's because life is setting you up for something greater. That breakup wasn't the end. It was redirection. That failure wasn't final. It was education. That closed door didn't block your future. It guided you to the right one. You may not see it now, but one day you'll look back and say, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't have discovered who I really am. Think of a bow and arrow. The farther the arrow is pulled back, the greater the force when it's released. The tension is necessary for the flight. When you feel like life is pulling you backward, don't lose hope. That pressure is not a setback. It's preparation for your launch. The greater the pull, the farther the reach. You're not being held back, you're being aimed towards something powerful. Every successful person has a story of struggle. The artist who was rejected again and again before their work was recognized. The business owner who failed several times before finding success. The parent who worked 3 jobs to provide for their family. The student who studied late into the night when no one believed in them. These people didn't rise in spite of struggle, they rose because of it. Struggle builds substance, it builds depth. It builds the kind of character that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Sometimes we pray for God to take away our struggle when we should be asking Him to help us grow through it. Because every struggle carries a seed of strength inside it. That loss you thought you couldn't survive taught you empathy. That failure that embarrassed you taught you humility. That rejection that stung taught you self-worth. That delay taught you patience. If you had never gone through it, you'd never know how powerful you truly are. The hand of God knows how to use struggle as a tool for transformation. A sculptor can't create a statue without friction. Chisel must strike the stone again and again. Each blow looks harsh, but every hit brings form to the masterpiece. Life works the same way. Every strike, every challenge, every heartbreak, it's all part of shaping you into who you were created to be. What feels like breaking is often building. What feels like loss is often alignment. In daily life, there will be moments when you feel like everything is crumbling. You'll wonder if you can keep going. But remember this, mountains don't grow without earthquakes. Pressure creates diamonds, and storms produce the strongest trees. If you're facing a struggle right now, it's because there's something powerful growing inside you. Don't curse the struggle, use it. Let it stretch you. Let it sharpen you. Let it prepare you. When life gets hard, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because every struggle carries wisdom that ease will never give. Every obstacle holds an opportunity for elevation. Every tear you cry waters the ground for your next victory. The struggle is not the signal to stop. It's the sign that something is shifting. And one day, when you rise out of this season, you'll see it clearly. You'll realize that the pain had a purpose. The difficulty had design. The tears had a reason. Hand of God was working even in your darkest hour. You were never being punished. You were being positioned. You were never being destroyed, you were being developed. So hold your head high in the midst of your struggle. Speak faith when everything around you says fear. Walk forward even when you can't see the end of the road, because the struggle you're in today is setting you up for the strength you'll need tomorrow. You're not stuck, you're being sculpted. You're not buried, you're being built. Every struggle, every challenge, every heartbreak, it's all part of your setup for something greater. The hand of God is using your struggle to prepare you for a breakthrough you never saw coming. When the wrong door closes, stop banging on it. Sometimes, the hardest thing to accept in life is that what we thought was meant for us actually wasn't. We cry over closed doors, we grieve missed chances, we wonder why things didn't go the way we planned. But what if every closed door wasn't rejection? It was redirection. What if the hand of God was protecting you from what you couldn't see? Sometimes, the door you wanted to walk through leads to pain, while the one you never noticed holds your purpose. God's hand knows which doors must stay shut so you can reach the right one. We've all experienced moments where a dream slipped away, an opportunity vanished, or someone we counted on turned away. In that moment, pain feels unbearable. You replay the what ifs. You wonder if you did something wrong. But every closed door carries a hidden message. It's not a loss, it's guidance. Closed doors are often divine detours. They reroute you toward the path that aligns with your destiny. Think of a GPS. When you miss a turn, it doesn't cancel the journey, it recalculates your route. It might take you on a longer, unfamiliar road. You'll still reach the destination. Life works the same way. When a door closes, God doesn't say, "You're finished." He says, "Let me show you another way." The divine hand redirects, not rejects. You may not understand it while it's happening, but in time, you'll see that the closed door saved you from the wrong destination. Sometimes, the reason doors close is because you've outgrown what's behind them. You may be trying to fit into a season that your soul has already outgrown. The people, places, opportunities that once fit you no longer match who you're becoming. The hand of God closes doors to move you forward, not backward. It's His way of saying, it's time to elevate. What you think you lost was actually limiting your growth. Imagine this. You're in a hallway with many doors. One slams shut in front of you and frustration rises. You knock, you beg, you cry, but nothing happens. In anger, you turn away. And as you do, you notice another door slightly open at the end of the hall. It's brighter, wider, filled with opportunity. That's how divine timing works. The door that closed wasn't rejection. It was revelation. It revealed that your story doesn't end here. It pointed you toward a better path. In daily life, we all have door moments. Maybe you didn't get the promotion you prayed for. Maybe that business didn't succeed. Maybe the person you loved didn't stay. Maybe you lost something you believed you couldn't live without. It hurts, yes. Pain is often the passport to purpose. That no pushed you to discover a new version of yourself. That disappointment taught you to depend not on doors, on the one who opens them. There's a story of a man who worked hard for years at his company, waiting for a promotion. When it didn't come, he was crushed. He felt invisible and defeated. A few months later, that same company began to downsize, and the position he once wanted was eliminated. The very door he had cried over was the one that would have trapped him. Shortly after, he started his own business, and it became more successful than he ever imagined. What looked like a setback was really divine protection. Sometimes the hand of God shuts doors because He knows what's behind them could hurt you, drain you, or distract you. It's not punishment, it's protection. The closed door that broke your heart may have saved your peace. The opportunity that passed you by may have preserved your purpose. The person who left may have been removed because they couldn't go where you're headed. God's hand sees farther down the road than you can. He knows what's waiting around the corner, and sometimes His no is the greatest act of love. In life, we're quick to chase after closed doors because we hate not having control. We think if we just push harder, knock louder, or pray longer, the door will open. Sometimes the best thing you can do is let go. Stop forcing what's not meant for you. What belongs to you will open effortlessly, because no force on earth can block a door that's been divinely assigned to your name. Picture a key and a lock. You can have the most beautiful key, but if it's not meant for that lock, it won't open no matter how hard you twist. The key isn't bad, it's just meant for a different door. The same is true for your life. You have purpose, potential, and power, but not every door is yours. When the right door appears, it will open smoothly. You won't have to beg or break yourself to fit through. The hand of God will turn the lock, and you'll walk into something that feels natural and peaceful. Sometimes we confuse comfort with calling. The wrong door might look easier, more familiar, or even more exciting, but it's not aligned with your growth. God's hand knows when to close it because He's preparing you for something that will last. The right door won't just open, it will sustain you. It will match your spirit, challenge your character, and fulfill your destiny. So when a door closes, instead of mourning what's lost, start expecting what's next. Say to yourself, if it closed, it wasn't mine. That mindset frees you from frustration and fills you with faith. The hand of God never closes a door without having a better one prepared. Your job is not to stand in front of the closed door trying to understand. It's to walk down the hallway with trust in your heart. You might not see it today. One day you'll thank God for every door that didn't open. You'll realize that those no's protected your purpose. You'll see that the closed paths led you exactly where you were supposed to be. The hand of God was never withholding. It was guiding. So lift your head. Stop knocking on what's not yours. Trust the movement of divine timing. When it's your moment, the door will swing wide, the way will clear, and everything that once confused you will make sense. Because when the hand of God opens a door for you, no one can shut it. When He closes one, no one can force it open. What's meant for you will find you. What's yours will never pass you by. And every closed door will make sense when you finally step through the right one. No matter what's against you, the hand that holds you is stronger. You are not falling apart. You're being held together. Life has a way of making us feel like we're on our own, like everything depends on our strength, effort, our willpower. But when you truly understand that you are in the grip of grace, everything changes. The grip of grace means that no matter how far you fall, there's a hand beneath you that will not let you hit the ground. It's the invisible strength that holds you steady when the world around you feels unsteady. It's the quiet assurance that even in chaos, you are covered, guided, and loved. There are moments in life when you feel like you've lost control. You've tried everything, but nothing seems to work. You've prayed, planned, pushed, and still things fall apart. You wonder how much more you can take. Yet somehow, even when you're at your lowest, something inside whispers, keep going. That whisper is grace. That hand you can't see, the one that catches you every time you stumble, that's grace. The grip of grace doesn't depend on your perfection. It depends on divine love. You don't have to earn it. It's already holding you. Think about the ocean for a moment. When waves crash and pull you under, your instinct is to fight. You kick, you panic, you struggle to stay afloat. But lifeguards will tell you, the more you fight the current, the more you sink. The only way to survive is to relax and let the water carry you until you find your rhythm again. That's what the grip of grace does. It carries you when your strength runs out. It reminds you that surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. When you stop fighting everything you can't control, you allow divine strength to do what your human power cannot. In daily life, grace shows up in ways we often overlook. That unexpected phone call from a friend when you were feeling low, that's grace. That job offer that came right after you thought you'd failed, that's grace. That peace you felt in the middle of your pain, that's grace. It's not luck, coincidence, or chance. It's the hand of God holding you, guiding you, and reminding you that you are never alone. Some people think grace only appears in blessings or success, but the truth is grace is often most powerful in brokenness. When everything around you seems to crumble, grace becomes your foundation. When you lose someone you love, grace becomes your comfort. When you feel weak, grace becomes your strength. The grip of grace doesn't loosen when life gets tough. It tightens. It doesn't let go when you fail. it lifts you back up. Imagine a parent teaching a child how to walk. The child wobbles, falls, and cries. But the parent never walks away. They hold the child's hand, steadying them until they find their balance. When the child falls, the parent doesn't scold, they smile, lift them up, and encourage them to try again. That's exactly how grace works. It's patient, steady, and faithful. Even when you fall again and again, grace says, get up, I'm still with you. There's a powerful truth in realizing that your mistakes don't disqualify you from divine favor. We often carry guilt and shame from our past, thinking we've ruined our chances. But grace specializes in broken people. It takes what's shattered and turns it into something beautiful. The grip of grace can take your failures and turn them into testimonies. It can take your lowest moments and make them stepping stones to your highest purpose. In everyday life, we're surrounded by pressure to perform, to succeed, to prove our worth. But the grip of grace says you are already enough. You don't have to strive endlessly to be accepted. You don't have to wear masks to be loved. You are held not because you're flawless, but because you're chosen. Grace holds you not in your strength, but in your weakness. There are times when you may walk through storms and wonder why you're still standing. You think, I should have lost my mind by now. I should have given up, but you didn't. That's not because you're lucky. It's because grace wouldn't let you go. Every time you've said, I can't take another step, grace said, I'll carry you. Every time you've been misunderstood, betrayed, or broken, grace whispered, I still have you. You may bend, but you won't break. You may cry, but you won't collapse. You may stumble, but you won't stay down. Grip of grace keeps holding you. Think about a tightrope walker balancing high above the ground. Below them is a safety net. That net doesn't stop them from walking. It gives them the courage to keep going, knowing if they fall, they'll be caught. Grace is your safety net. It doesn't remove the challenge, but it removes the fear of falling. Knowing you're held gives you the confidence to take risks, to dream big, to step out in faith, even in seasons of silence. When you can't feel God's presence, His hand hasn't left you. The grip of grace is not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet peace that settles your soul at 3 a.m. when worry tries to take over. It's the calm that meets you in the middle of the storm. It's the strength that rises inside you when you thought you had none left. You are not surviving by accident. You're surviving because grace won't let you go. That's why even after heartbreak, you still find hope. After loss, you still find light. After pain, you still find purpose. Because grace is not a fleeting feeling, it's a force that anchors you. It's what steadies you when life shakes you. It's what lifts you when you fall. It's what reminds you that even if everything around you changes, the hand that holds you never does. So when life gets heavy, when the world feels unstable, when you don't know how to move forward, remember this. You are not holding yourself up. You are being held. You are in the grip of something stronger than fear, greater than failure, and deeper than despair. The same hand that shaped the mountains is the one carrying you through the valley. And as long as that hand is holding you, no storm can sink you, no struggle can stop you, and no darkness can defeat you. The grip of grace will never let you go. Faith moves mountains, but it begins with believing in what you cannot yet see. So many of us get trapped in the tangible. We measure progress by what we can touch, what we can prove, and what we can see. But the hand of God doesn't always move visibly. Sometimes it moves in silence behind the scenes, orchestrating things that are not yet apparent to your eyes. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where God wants to take you. It's the courage to step forward even when the path is invisible. Without faith, the journey is impossible. But with it, the impossible becomes inevitable. Think about the first time a child rides a bicycle without training wheels. They wobble, their legs shake, their heart races. They can't see how they will stay upright, and they can't guarantee they won't fall. Yet they get on the bike because someone encourages them to try. That is faith in action. They cannot see the perfect balance, but they believe that it exists. They trust that their effort will meet stability. In life, works the same way. You may not see the solution, but you must step forward anyway, trusting that God's hand is guiding you. Faith also teaches patience. Waiting is one of the hardest tests for anyone. We pray, we work, we hope, but nothing seems to change. It's tempting to give up, to take matters into our own hands, to force results. But faith calls for endurance. It calls for trust in divine timing. Consider the farmer who plants seeds. Every day he waters weeds and tends to the soil. For weeks, maybe months, there is no visible change. Then one morning, he sees the tiny green sprout breaking through the ground. That seed was growing all along unseen. Your dreams are like that seed. They are developing in the unseen, being strengthened, shaped, and nourished for the perfect time to bloom. In daily life, faith often looks small, but it is powerful. It's sending in a job application even though the market is tough. It's staying committed to a relationship when trust feels fragile. It's continuing your education or business venture even when setbacks feel endless. Every step taken in faith is a step toward breakthrough, even if you can't measure it today. Faith doesn't always produce immediate results, but it produces growth, resilience, and readiness. Sometimes faith requires courage. Stepping into the unknown is frightening. Quitting a stable job to pursue your calling, moving to a new city, starting a business from scratch, it's scary because you cannot control the outcome. Yet faith whispers, I will guide you. You are not alone. The hand of God is moving on your behalf. Remember, faith does not eliminate risk. It equips you to rise above it. It is the knowledge that even if things go wrong, you will never fall outside the protective hand of divine guidance. Faith also multiplies opportunities. Think of a person who believes in their vision, even when everyone else doubts them. Because they believe, they act. Because they act, doors begin to open. Because they act consistently, networks, resources, and opportunities appear, often in ways that seem miraculous. What looked impossible becomes inevitable because faith has the power to align circumstances, people, and timing in perfect harmony. Your belief in the unseen sets the stage for the visible. Sometimes faith is tested in the ordinary moments of life. It's faith that keeps you working even when promotions are slow. It's faith that keeps you loving when you've been hurt. It's faith that keeps you creating when the results haven't come yet. The quiet, everyday acts of faith matter as much as the dramatic leaps of courage. Every kind word, every patient effort, every time you choose to keep going. These are the ways faith strengthens your foundation for the future. Faith also transforms perspective. When you believe that the hand of God is moving in your life, setbacks stop being punishments and start becoming lessons. Losses stop being failures and start becoming stepping stones. Challenges stop being obstacles and start becoming opportunities for growth. Faith allows you to see the invisible thread of purpose weaving through every struggle, delay, and detour. What feels like chaos today may be the prelude to your greatest triumph tomorrow. Imagine standing at the edge of a river, unsure how to cross. Faith is stepping onto the water with trust that it will hold. It's taken action based on belief, not proof. Every pioneer, every inventor, every trailblazer relied on faith, the courage to see beyond the visible, the wisdom to trust the unseen. Faith creates the momentum that propels you forward, even when nothing in the natural world seems ready to support you. Faith is also contagious. When people see you persevere, believe, and continue in hope, they are inspired to do the same. Your belief in the unseen doesn't just change your life, it influences your family, friends, and community. A single act of faith can create a ripple effect, shifting circumstances and encouraging others to trust the process as well. Finally, faith always points to action. It's not passive. Faith requires moving forward, planting seeds, knocking on doors, and speaking life into your circumstances. You may not see how it all fits together now, but every step you take in faith builds momentum for the breakthrough that is coming. Bridges the gap between the invisible and the visible. It turns dreams into reality. It turns waiting into walking. It turns prayer into progress. So, no matter how uncertain life may feel, hold on to faith, trust the process. Believe in the unseen. Step forward even when you can't see the whole path. The hand of God is moving on your behalf, setting the pieces in place, aligning opportunities, and orchestrating breakthroughs you cannot yet imagine. Your faith is the key that unlocks the invisible, the bridge that connects struggle to triumph, and the spark that ignites destiny. Walk boldly, Act consistently, trust unwaveringly, but trust unwaveringly because the hand of God moves in perfect timing and faith is how you receive it.